Hello everyone, my name is Jennifer Long and it is week 2 of Eat the Rainbow and we are jumping right in. We're going to jump over the rainbow today and we are going to start with the curved piecing in Eat the Rainbow. You've got this. Let me show you how I'm going to even cut the first one out with you together. So if you haven't already, please consider signing up for this Quilt-Along. There is so many techniques that we're going to be sharing and learning this month together. We're doing happy sewing, so we are sewing rainbows and fruits and vegetables in January using the Country Life fabric. All you need is a fat quarter bundle and a little bit of extra yardage. Make sure you grab the pattern, either the paper version of the pattern or you can grab the PDF version. If you grab the PDF version, we're going to talk about just how you print the templates. There's only a couple, but this week we use them. So make sure you join up for this Quilt-Along at sewstory.com. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to dive right into it here today. So we are doing Eat the Rainbow rainbows. These are curved pieces, and sometimes when you get templates, you get the whole template. Now, the templates that I have created, and there's a designer note on each one of them. So you can see there's a little bit of writing on the templates here. So we're going to talk about that designer note, but I guess I should first mention that if you bought a paper pattern, there will be templates inside, and they are printed to scale at the right size. If you bought the PDF pattern, you're going to need to print your templates. There's only 3 pages. 2 of them are rainbow and 1 is for the carrot. So you'll need to print them. A couple things to think about when you're printing on your home printer is that the templates need to be printed at actual size. There's something on your settings that will say print at actual size or print as is or something this way. Every printer is different. Often there's a check mark that says fit to print, which is kind of nice when you are printing a pattern that's designed in a half letter. So when I design a pattern and it's in a half letter booklet and you press print to fit, then these pages actually they fill this whole page. So that's really nice if you like a big pattern on your PDF. However, templates, you don't want them fit to page because they could change size. You want those actual size. And to test that, there is on all the pages a 1-inch square in the corner. So you just take your ruler over top of it, your quilty ruler, and you just measure. And yes, it's exactly 1 inch. So I know that I'm good. You don't want to go through all this work and then find out you just are a 1/4 inch off or something that way with your templates. So do make sure that those are printed. Once you have your 3 papers, you can just put the carrot aside for another week, but you'll take the 2 rainbows and you'll use your paper scissors and cut out your templates. Now I have the first 2 center. So each template is labeled 1, 2. So you can see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is 5. All of the templates are actually drawn half, and I'm going to explain why in a second. Well, it's actually on every single template. It's saying designer note, fold the fabric in half, then place the template printed side up with the marked edge along the folded line of the fabric when cutting. So it says place on fold here. So it looks like this, place on fold. There's the designer note. It's on every template. You're going to place it on the template just like that. That's the fold, see? And then we're going to pin it in place. So we're going to drop the camera and talk through that. I'm going to do the pinning with you here. I'll show you all the tips and tricks, and we'll be right back. So let me drop you down. All right, so we have all of our supplies ready. We're going to have those templates that we had. We're cutting them out on the solid line. And the only thing you need to notice or note here, besides measuring that 1-inch block on page 1 and on all the pages, we're worried about page 1 and 2 here. So we have rainbow 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 is on template 5. So they are all placed on fold, if you see that. But template 5, you also have to mark to match the bottom edge of the rainbow. So I'd like you to just to put in the seam allowance here, a little notch, and that's going to help us with knowing where to finish this off right here. So that's the one thing to note. Once you've cut out your templates, they're going to look like this. So we have our piece. This is going to be the center of my rainbow. I've pressed it with the iron nice and flat, and I'm going to show you why in a few minutes. But I'm going to place this on top. Now you can do one of two things. You can pin this and cut it with scissors, or you can use your rotary cutter. So how about I do one of each? This time I'm just going to pin it and use my rotary cutter for this one. And then I will do that one and use my scissors. So that's however you feel the most control. So you see how that's kind of twisting? I maybe should have used. We want to make sure that our cutting is exact because, you know, we want to have great results, right? So here we go. That'll stabilize it. Perfect. Okay, so I'm going to hold it down and I am just going to carefully cut following that seam allowance. Good. Along the paper. Good. And then this side here. Cut that bottom off. And let's see, do I need to get anything else over there? No, that looks really good. Okay, so just make sure you take your time. You have that piece that's like that. I'll move that over. The next one I'll do with scissors the other way. So this one again is twice as big. And I've pressed the center seam, or the center fold, I guess, and I'm going to place it on the fold here. And I'm going to pin that in place again. So let's pin that in place. Pin and pin. Okay, make sure it's laying nice and flat. All right, these are my adorable little, they're actually maybe a tad small for this project, but I'm using them. They're from Missouri Star. I can also put the link if you're interested. They just cut so easily. I have all the sizes, but I brought them here to show you for snipping in the center. Okay. So I'm just going to cut along here. And good. So it looks like that. All right, let me send that away. I'll just unpin it now. These are so sharp. I'm going to put that back over because you never know. I've got so many things going here. So let's take those two pieces off. So this is piece 1 and piece 2. 1 and 2. You can remove those templates away. And we'll open this up. And we have that great guide. So that pressed seam right in half, that guide. So you can see that they are like, you're like, oh dear, how do those fit? Well, let me just show you here. But because you've pressed this line right down here and here, you're going to match those first. So you're going to turn this over and you're going to take the pins. Now pins are your friend. I'm going to put it in at the 1/4 inch seam and the 1/4 inch seam. And I'm going to make sure that it's lining up along that whole fold. So I want that to be nice and straight. So it's going to look like this. Then you're going to take this edge and line it up at the bottom here. Let's rotate that. Line it up with the bottom right there. And I'm going to pin it again. This is going to be where I'm sewing. I'm going to pin that like that. We can just do one side at a time and leave this one hanging, or you can do it all the way. Because this is straight, I'm going to do a couple more coming up here because this is already laying nice and flat. So I don't have to do too much worrying about that. I probably can get another one in there. So it's looking like that. I have the center seam there, and then it's kind of, you're like, oh, what's happening here? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to work this curve, this concave and this convex curve around. So you're just going to take some pins and you're just going to make sure that you're lining it up all the way around. That's all you have to do. It's just, and then you're just going to take your 1/4 inch seam and sew it. So look how the pattern is matching. So everything, we've already done the hard work and has the templates for you. And we've tested it many, many, many times. So you don't have to worry or fret about that at all. All you have to do is just trust the pattern and it will look like this. Then you come on over to this side and you'll repeat the same thing. And because you're exactly in half here, then I'll just move those over. Because you're exactly in half, then that will just easily fit perfectly just as this side did. You'll put the next one in and you'll repeat this process all the way. Now I've got those 3 straight ones. Now I'm going to do work on this area here. So again, don't panic. Just go nice and slow. Just do one bit at a time. Right now it feels like, oh, look, that's not going to match, but just wait. Just keep going. And again, like I said, trust your pattern. You did the fold, so if this side matched, this side will too. Good. You put the next one in. Look at that. Look. It works. It's like magic, everyone. And then again, look, you're thinking, oh, that's not going to match, but look, perfect, it does. So you just have to kind of work slowly, slowly into it. I'm going to come up really close so that you can see how this looks. So you can see that this looks like this. And on this side, it's all matching. Okay, so it's matching on all the sides. Now I'm going to take it to my machine. And I'm going to put it in my machine and I'm going to have a nice 1/4 inch seam allowance and I'm going to sew all the way around. I'm going to just pause you while I do that and I'm going to come back and then we're going to talk about the next step to get it nice and flat. Okay, so here we are back. I've sewn all the way around so you can see there's a 1/4 inch seam allowance all the way around. Coming, and it's still, if you feel like, oh my, how is that going to turn into a rainbow, right? Okay, this is where I brought my cute little sharp Missouri Star scissors from. So on the straightaways, you don't have to clip. Sometimes I just do just out of habit. But what you really need to clip here is around the curves. Being very careful not to clip your seam allowance, but you do want to be like decently close. Now, the smaller you cut those snips into there, then the more like expandable, like flatness you'll have. If you haven't done enough, then it might still feel like it's puckering. So you kind of need to like relax it. Relax your seam allowance. You can think of it like that. And you just keep clipping all the way around that curve until you get to the nice straightaway, and then I think we'll be fine there. Okay, you can see that it's already relaxing. Okay, look at that. The truth, the moment of truth comes. Are you ready? Look, everyone. So that seam is going to press just naturally. It presses like in. So look at that. We'll just press that flat. And that couldn't be more perfect. The whole thing in one piece. And that's due to your matching center there. So look at that curve. And you just continue that same process all the way around for all of them. And even for, let me just move this over here because I won't do every rainbow with you in that sense. But even for this, because you've pressed the center, you line up that center right here like you did, and you have that line that you made here, and you put this here, and you just repeat the same thing that you just did all the way around. And then look how nice and flat that is after you've pressed. So aren't you excited? It's so good. Let me know if you've, you can see all the seams. This one kind of opened up, but all the seams are pressed. I'm showing you the back of the work. All the seams are pressed in the same direction, and looks like that. Just like that, then you can sew your whole rainbow block. And then at the end, these are actually the sashing strips here, but when you sew your sashing strips together, you see how the edge of the rainbow is completely, it looks like it's just curved and it completely caught all of that seam allowance in there. So that is your Eat the Rainbow. Go ahead and make a whole rainbow runner or a whole rainbow quilt or just one cute rainbow block, or make the Eat the Rainbow quilts. But however you are, I hope you have a very happy, joyous week sewing these happy blocks, and I hope you've learned a new technique. And we're going to jump over the rainbow again. And I hope you have a lovely day. So thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.